Hi everyone, thank you for coming to my presentation today. I'm going to be speaking with you about parental education of early childhood development. So just a little introduction about myself. I am a graduate student with the University of West Georgia. I am a student clinician. This is going to be my spring semester, and I have been interning here with Lisa Lester at Communicare Therapy Services, where you all are currently working. So why is parental education important? Well, first off, parental education is important because it's going to help the parents understand why their child may need our services. So as Lisa and I had talked about when I was deciding on what I was going to do the presentation on, we had talked about some of the different needs that we saw were lacking, and one of the main needs was parental education, because some of these parents don't seem to understand, the developmental milestones that their children are missing. So we also want the parents to feel comfortable about having their child evaluated. We want the parents to understand why we are working on certain goals. So after evaluating the child, we want to make sure that the parents are understanding what the goals are that we're working on, how their child's going to attain these goals, and why these goals are important based on those developmental milestones. We also want the parents to recognize when their child is ready to be discharged. I know sometimes that can be kind of hard for parents to understand that their child is ready to be discharged, but it is an important part of the education process. Now, how should we as SLPs educate parents? So when it comes to educating the parents, we want to make sure that we're using appropriate terminology. So we want to talk on a level that the parents are going to understand. And sometimes that does look different for different parents based on their background, based on their education level. We also want to, as I said earlier, educate them on the goals. So we want to make sure that, yes, we have these goals, but sometimes we can make them a little wordy. And so we want to break them down to a level that the parents can understand and kind of give them examples of how we're planning on attaining these goals in therapy. We also want to make sure that parents understand that although there are these developmental milestones, every child develops at their own pace. So, it's not like they need to go directly based off of these developmental milestones. They're more of a suggestion. And then we want to make sure that parents understand that progress takes time. So I know sometimes when parents come in and they bring their child for just a few sessions, they say that they don't see any progress being made, and they don't see the reason for us doing our treatment therapy. So it's important to make sure that parents understand that it's going to take more than just a few sessions for their child to start progressing and learning these new skills. Additionally, some of the benefits of using a brochure, which I'd handed out at the beginning, are that we can have this brochure available at the front desk. So when the parents come in and they sign their child in, they can just grab one of the brochures. They can read it while they're sitting and waiting for the appointment. They can also take it home, which that can be another benefit, because sometimes, they might not have enough time to read it while they're waiting for their child, or if they take it home, then they can also show others. So there might be some other family members who are a little bit confused or don't know anything about developmental milestones. So we aren't just educating the parent that brings the child in, but we're also educating the whole family as a whole. Here is the brochure layout. On the right-hand side, you can see this is the title page, Early Childhood Development, Understanding the Milestones. So it just gives a little blurb about learning the signs and acting early. And then after you open up the brochure, you're going to see this left-hand side over here. It just talks about what are developmental milestones. So some parents might not understand exactly what development milestones are or what that term means. It also talks about what is developmental monitoring. So it helps parents understand, what developmental monitoring specifically is. And then when you open up the entire brochure, this is what you'll see. So you'll start on that left-hand side, and it talks about the importance of monitoring developmental milestones. I also have some references here. And then it breaks down the developmental milestones by age. So we have birth to 3 months, 4 to 6 months, 7 to 24 months. Then we have it by years, 1 to 2 years, 2 to 3 years, 3 to 4 years. And then this middle section right here is actually the back page. So then we have the 4 to 5 year milestones and the 5 to 7 year milestones. And then this part is actually some additional links for parents so they can grab out their cell phone. All they have to do is click on their camera on their cell phone, and they hold it up to one of these 4 bars, and it will bring up a different link for each of those that talks more about developmental milestones, and even has a developmental monitoring like checklist. So again, here are those links that I had. There's a different link for each of these scan bars that they can open up. And that'll be about it. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I hope that you guys find this brochure to be helpful here in your clinic. I have my email address here and my cell phone number, but you can always get in contact with Lisa. She can get in contact with me if there were any questions that you had. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed.